Testing. Can hear my voice too, okay?
Yeah, okay. So, I'll call you Fred in this interview, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, Fred, thanks for taking the time today. So we just walked around here and you gave us a tour. We have a little audience here of some more people that joined. But yeah, thanks for sharing your time. I'm interested in this book that you wrote here. This book is the older version. There's a new one.
Yes, the first book I wrote, all by myself.
Very nice. And the second version is
In
updated.
English. The second one is in English.
Very nice.
The third one is also in English. The name of the book, I think, is in English. It's called Facing the Calamity.
Okay. Okay. Very
So
nice.
the newest Chinese version, the name would be 谎言真相. Only 4 words. This is 8 words or
Yes.
4 words. I only use the first 2 Chinese words.
Yeah. Okay. Very nice. So this is going to be a more advanced interview. I know there's a lot of interviews of you already out there on YouTube. So I prepared some more questions, that are a little bit more interesting, a little bit different. So I'm just going to put the book here. And I think just to repeat a little bit your story, for the person that's heard it before, if you could summarize your story in, 2-3 minutes one more time, so we got the starting point for
You mean starting from the beginning?
Yeah, just 2-3 minutes. I can do it for you as well, and then you can correct me. It's up to you.
Yeah, you can do it for me, then I...
Sounds good. Okay, so according to what I know, Fred came to Malaysia to study abroad, and then there was a incident in Tainan where he was blamed for the explosion, and so that was the time of the White Terror, which is a certain period in Taiwan, and you were blamed for that. They took you in, brought you to Taipei, and I think they brought you to Jingmei, which is where we are here today. So just
the first place is not the first location, somewhere else. Until
else.
Today, I still couldn't find the location where I was put for 2 long weeks.
Yeah.
Within the 2 weeks, they tried to torture me, to ask me to write down the so-called the confessions they needed from me, but it failed. After 2 weeks, I was sent over here.
And that's the Jingmei Detention
Jingmei
Center.
Detention Center.
Today, it's a museum, a very active museum where you give talks and tours as well.
Yes.
And so here they decided your fate, and long story short, eventually you went to Green Island, which is down in the south.
Yes.
And that was 13 years in Green Island?
Totally, I was in jail for 12 long years, 1.5 years in Jingmei here, and 8.5 years at Green Island. And then the last 2 years was sent back for the brainwashing, the so-called reformatory education in Seoul, in one of the place called Tuchen.
Okay. And then after that, you were released and you were homeless for 3 years.
Yes. On the day of my release in the year 1983, March the 2nd, then I became homeless because I was not allowed to return home to Malaysia.
You weren't allowed to go back to Malaysia, so you started your life here. And you started a business or somewhere?
After 3 years of struggling, I managed to secure my identification. Then right after the martial law was lifted in the year 1987, I tried to pick it up. I tried to start my occupation. The first one, I worked in a trading company because I knew nothing about trading. So I learned a lot from that small company. Then after that, I established my own trading company.
Trading company.
Yes, I retired in the year 2009 and 2010. I started to be here to be a witness, testifying the so-called the tragedies that happened during the White Terror period from 1949 until 1987.
Very nice. So you retired now, and you're giving the talks and the tours. I was here in 2017. That's almost 8 years ago, and so you've been doing that work since here. I think that's a good starting point here. So in the book, you also have some pictures. So this is the older version here.
Yes.
But I think there's one really nice picture I want to maybe start out with, and I think it's a picture of you with some students, if you remember that. See here.
Yeah.
So
all the students are, I think this is a summer camp organized by the Chen Wen-chen Foundation.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that was one of the first times you were sharing your story?
Yeah, it's not the first time. Actually, it's not the first time. I have been sharing these stories for many, many, many times.
Yeah.
2011, starting from 2011, I started I participate almost every single summer camp organized by the Children organization, foundation. So I met a lot of young generations,
Hmm.
young generations of Taiwan.
Very nice.
This
Yeah.
is a very good way to let them know what happened during the totalitarian control of the Kennedy government in Taiwan.
So I think on that note, we actually had a really nice, interesting question before. You're very much interested in just presenting how history happened.
Yes.
So in Germany, some people here also from Germany, the history tends to get forgotten a little bit every year. Obviously, there was the Second World War, there was the Cold War, and these lessons tend to get, forget over time. How do you think, what are 3 ways people can help make sure that your story does not get forgotten?
Oh, it is difficult to say that
Yeah.
because I'm trying my best to speak to as many people as possible so that they can remember me.
Yeah.
And then through my own mouth, they feel much stronger. They had much stronger feelings that they could remember better. So we always urge the young the people to set up to set up more and more gathering like this so that more people can understand us. And then we will try to leave some of the message on what's a books or sounds or video, so that when at the time when we all gone, they still have certain kind of references so that they can understand. They still can understand, but it's not that influential as what we were alive.
Yeah.
But I don't think sooner or later our story would definitely will be forgotten.
Yeah.
Too. There's no way to keep if we are not speaking by ourselves.
Yeah.
I think this is a very normal, right? Now I have a lot of political prisoners. When they were alive, they are very, very active. But since a few years later, no one talk about them anymore.
But you have a book now, so that's
Yes.
a very, very good way to keep your story alive.
Yeah, that's the reason why I want to write more. I want to continue to leave something when I was still alive.
Yeah.
They also made a lot of video with my sound, with a lot of pictures. That I think this is very important to keep the story on and on.
I think so too. I think there's a really good movie. I think it's called Untold Story. Do you?
Yeah, Untold Story.
Untold Story. So you were a consultant on the movie, is that correct?
Yes.
How was that working with a movie team?
I don't know. They just asked me to be that. Anyway, my stories, I think it's a lot of stories being made by the TV, made by the local media. There are many of the stories. If you just go into the Google or into the Yahoo, you just use my Chinese name. I think, I don't know, you need a day to finish reading it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stories.
Yeah.
Even though some on our list are also called the reports.
Mm-hmm. And so you were one of the few consultants on the movie. I think the movie is 2 hours long, and it's just a story about Green Island and the prison time there.
Yes. I think the movie, the commercial movie, made by the Yao Wenzi is the story of the sufferers during the 1950s.
Yeah.
Especially the female sufferers.
Yes.
I am one of the consultants as well. The stories is very, very important. Look at that movie. You can have a very bright understanding of the past, how the female sufferers were being treated by the government.
Yeah. Were there any female prisoners in your time in Green Island?
No, we couldn't mix around. I knew that there were, since 1954, the first batch of female prisoners being sent back to Taipei, there were no more female prisoners being incarcerated in Green Island. All the female prisoners would be incarcerated somewhere else in a very definite location at Tuchen. We call that the training and reformatory what is this center.
Yeah.
We are working on to what is this to recall the memory of that location, because today it belongs to the military.
Still active.
We can't even go in and have a look at that location anymore.
Why do you think they chose to put you on Green Island? Was there any other prisoners, or was that a specific place they thought you would be most safe? Because it was a long time, it was 8 years. Right?
Yeah, but this is a must, because they are so congested over here. Why I was put into Green Islands? Because the Taiwan incident. The Taiwan incident. If there weren't any Taiwan incident at the Taitung, the second what is the prison of the political prisoners, if nothing happened, no riot happened at that time, I probably would not be at Green Island. I will be put into the cells in Taiwan, in the Taitung.
Yeah.
Because the government thought that it's not safe, no more safe to detain the prisoners at that location, at the main island, so that reconstruct another prison at Green Island. That's the reason why, if there were no riot happened during in the 1970s, most probably in the 1972, I would send to the Taiwan prison at Taitung.
And when you were in Green Island, you also played some guitar?
This is allowed to.
Yeah.
After 1975, because we were not on the list of the
like high secure prison, or
let's say, because Chiang Kai-shek passed away, it is a new amnesty.
Amnesty.
I was not on the list, so the prison allowed us to use our own way to try to release our precious, because we are deeply sad. We are very sad because we are not on the list of the released person.
Yeah.
So they allow us to have. I even have a dog when I was at Green Island.
You had a dog?
You saw it? I think
I haven't seen it in the book, but is a picture in there?
Yeah, that should be. I think it should be a dog in the picture.
Well, I guess people have to buy the book to find the dog. Maybe on another note, I think this is a picture of you and your mother. Is that correct?
Yeah, this is the first time when I went back after my 12 years of imprisonment. In the year 1977, my mother came to pay me a visit at Green Island, because at that time when President Chiang Kai-shek passed away, initially I was on the list after serving half of my prison term. So in the year 1977, my mother came to see me. Actually, she came to pick me up, but lately he learned that I was not on the list. Sadly, she went back to Malaysia. Then I promised her that I would be back home one day. I would stay alive until the day of a reunion back to Malaysia. So this is the year that I went back to Malaysia to have a reunion with my mom and the family. It is in the year 1988. 1988, second year after the martial law was lifted.
Yeah. When she came to visit Green Island, were you allowed to meet her?
Yes, I have a very short interview with my mom in the meeting room, because we didn't speak much because I didn't know what to tell my mother. I just when my mother came to see me all the way from Malaysia, but all by herself, I was so shocked and also sad. I couldn't control myself well, so that I didn't speak much. I just told her that, how could you come? Who brought you here? And then I promised that I will stay alive until the day I went back to Malaysia for a family reunion. That's the only words I spoke to my mom.
Wow. Well, you were promising to be, released, I guess. Did you at some point think that you would never be released from Green Island?
No, because I have a definite term of 12 years. I definitely would be released if I behave well.
Did you trust them that was true?
Oh no, I don't trust them. Okay. I don't trust anyone, but I have to behave. I didn't want to create any troubles to them, so that they can my record My release depends on the records of the officers, right?
Yeah.
So I try my best to work to behave like what is a good a prisoner.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
prisoner.
then I was definitely would be released.
Yeah.
I don't trust any one of them.
Yeah. And when you were released, you came back to Taipei, is that correct?
I was only restricted to Taipei, to stay in
Only
Taipei.
assistant, yeah.
Taipei and Taipei Shen at the time. It was Taipei and Taipei Shen. Now it's a new Taipei city. New Taipei city and Taipei. I was only allowed to be around, to walk around here. I couldn't leave beyond that. I was under control and under monitored by the so-called the security officers.
How would they monitor you in that
You know,
time?
they just keep an eye on me. They just
Really?
follow me all the way. I always saw someone around me.
That's
No matter, even though I was homeless,
Yeah.
I was homeless, I still can see someone. When I was sitting here having lunch or having dinner, I can see someone just right at the corner, the same faces.
Yeah.
They didn't mind that you know they were watching you,
Yeah.
but
So
they didn't care about that.
instead of helping you get a place where they could watch you easily, they would just follow you around the
Yes,
city.
yeah, that's their job.
Yeah. And then after 3 years, which is still a long time again, you did
Yes.
get the documents and you could start
Yes.
your life again.
Yes, after 3 years.
Yeah.
I went to the office the last day. Just I said one day I went to the office. I stayed until the office hour was over. They said they want me to leave, but I didn't want to leave. I just told them today, if you didn't give me an answer whether you would offer me what is the documents, then I will die in front of you now.
Yeah.
So the officer was a little bit astonished. I think he was very afraid that if I recuse myself in the office, he would end up in a big trouble. So he promised me that he would try his best within a week to give me my identification.
So you still had to stand up for yourself.
Yes.
So you could get the
Yes.
documents.
If you trust them, they will delay and delay and delay. If I knew they will offer the identification under such a way, threatening them, then I would do it earlier. But I didn't know that. So I waited 3 years later when I found that this is the only way that I do it. But not actually, I didn't want to die, but I just threatening them. That's it.
Yeah.
But finally, I got it. I got the final.
Did you get your Malaysian passport back as well?
Oh, it's easy for me if I want to get a Malaysian passport. In the year 1988, when I went back to Malaysia, I went on passing the custom. One of the immigration officers or Malaysian immigration officers waiting for me at the counter. He told me that Malaysia welcomed me back to be a Malaysian again. They knew that I wanted to be a Malaysian in the beginning, so they offered me the passport. They offered me the Malaysian identification, but I dropped it. Instead, I come back to Taiwan.
Yeah.
I came back to Taiwan.
You came to Taiwan because you made that promise to your high school friend. What happened to that friend? Are you still in touch?
I met him in the year 1988 as well.
Yeah.
He graduated. He went back to Malaysia. He has his career. He retired at the time. I met him, but now he passed away already.
I see.
He didn't suffer anything. And then the security, our so-called the prosecutor didn't go for him. I asked the prosecutor to ask him. I am a very normal and innocent man, but the security officer didn't go for him.
They didn't care.
They didn't care about that.
Yeah. So you spent 1.5 years here in a room, a very small room.
Yes.
And you only left 3 times just to go to the courtroom.
For the court.
Was that your worst time in the whole?
Yes, of course, it's the worst time because once you learn that you were indicted under the death, it's really under very high pressures. You never know what would happen next day, and I always thought that probably my life ended here. This is, I think I know how this is worrying you. The kind of fear just keep on attacking you. Once you just close your eyes, then I don't know how to describe it, but it's a horrible time waiting for the trial because you learn that at the time, 80% of the people who were indicted under the death could possibly be punished to death. This is according to the the political prisoners who were in the same room with me. He told me that.
Yeah.
So the kind of pressure was horrible. Really horrible.
every day. You
So
were
almost
wondering.
every single day.
Yeah. As the time went on, 1.5 years here, 8 years in Green Island, when you were thinking about your life after prison, how is that feeling? You know, how do you find hope or what you're going to do, you know, in that new life? Because all the time passes. Your friend goes, you know, and has a career in Malaysia. How were you thinking about picking that up? Was there something you definitely wanted to do once you get out of prison? Or did you just reintegrate and find a job?
Yeah, of course. When I learned that I was going to be released, the priority was to go back to Malaysia to leave this place, right? To find my new life. But I was not allowed. After 3 years of what I say is the homeless life, and then in the year 1988, I met a young lady. Today she is my wife. I met a young lady. We went back home together to see my mom. And then when I went back to Taipei, she was so, I want to say, so, I don't know, she just want, I don't know how she felt. She said that she wanted to be with me, to help me to get out, to get rid of all those of troubles, and then that she wanted to accompany me to set my own life, new life again. So because of her, then I started to tell myself that I want, since she took the risk to be with me, I didn't see any future at the time still. I do not have a work, I do not have a place to stay, I'm still alone, I'm still wandering, but she was ready to be with me. See, we formed our own family. Starting from that onward, I told myself, I would concentrate myself to provide her a very good life in the coming future.
Yeah.
So within 3 years, I completed this. I let her. I kept my promise. I should say I kept my promise that today we have been together for 36 years.
Mm-hmm.
We married for 36 years, and then I think she is very, very satisfied with what I have done. She enjoys her life for 36 years. I never have any worry for the expenditures back home. Or thinking she just helped me to take care of my children.
Yeah.
I was grateful for what she did to me. So I want to return to take good care of her.
That's wonderful, yeah. So that was a big part of your reintegration journey. I don't know if you can call it reintegration. Another part is obviously also learning Chinese. I think you also mentioned you learned some characters here in prison. How did that work?
Because I learned that if I don't, I have a kind of feelings that after my release, possibly I couldn't go back to Malaysia. According to some of the people they have experience about this. So I told myself, if I don't learn Chinese, on the day of my release, what could I do in Taiwan? So I have to learn that. So I have a very strong decision that I have to intensify my Chinese ability. Yeah. So I started, because I was working in a library. The first job when I was at Green Island, I worked in a library. So it's the opportunity for me to read a lot of Chinese literatures, a lot of books, and then a lot of the cellmates. They are ready to help me as well. Okay. So I asked they taught me, that I pick up my Chinese within a very short time.
Yeah, and then coming a bit closer to nowadays, you had Nancy Pelosi come around as well. How was that experience? You know, was that your biggest tour yet, or you know, did you just do it like you did it with us today?
Actually, I knew that Pelosi was coming, but I tried to ignore her. I didn't want to be her guide.
Yeah.
So I joined one of the summer camp to Green Island on the same
so you wouldn't be there.
date. I would stay in Green Island. So I stayed at Green Island in the late July, and then she came on August the 3rd and the 2nd and the 3rd. But for the first summer camp, one of the participant, was how to say that the children, how to say the how to say the person who participated in the summer camp,
Participant, yeah.
a participant, he caught COVID-19.
Ah.
You have the COVID-19 series. He canceled the second trip.
Yeah.
The second was a summer camp. So I was asked to come back to Taiwan. I returned home. I didn't know how the AIT learned that I was back to Taipei. Immediately, I received a call from the AIT. He said that you were back to Taipei now because on the August the 2nd, you have to go to the Qingmei Detention Center. We have a very important job for you. He didn't tell me what to do, but I knew. I knew it. So okay, I said, I have no choice, so I come. Because I was so sorry for the other guy. The other guy is also a political prisoner. At the time, I refused to be the guy, the tour guide, right? Then he asked Kim to be one to replace me. But since they learned that I was back, so they want me to be back to act as a tour guide for Nancy Pelosi. So that's a very kind of how to say it, unexpected.
Yeah.
Unexpected. I tried to escape because I knew that if I be her guide, then it's big trouble for me if I wanted to go to China again. It's a big problem to me, but I can't avoid it, so I took it.
Yeah, of course. You mentioned another guide. How many guides are still active at the site?
Since 2011, there were around 30 of us, but today, less than 5.
Less than 5. You're one of them.
Yes, I was one of them. I was the most active one.
Yeah.
I almost came here every single day. Every single day.
And this is also here the reading room. What happens in this kind of room here? Is this where people meet?
This room?
Yeah.
So this is a library before.
I see.
But they set up a new library over there. So they replace this as a meeting room, a conference room, or just any use needed. You can make use of this room.
There's some construction going on here. Is that expansions of the center as well?
Actually, the most important construction was to build a new museum, international level, on the other side, over there. 3 years later, it would be completed. 3 years later, if you come here, that would be the place that we could meet each other at that location. Would not be here anymore.
Yeah, so when people come visit in a couple of years' times, they can meet you over there.
Yes.
Okay.
I always suggested to have an international conference room. Before they drop it out. Now they say that they have an international conference room, at least a row for hundreds, right? You can carry out any kind of international conference here instead of going somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's just near to the relics here, so it's easy for them to visit, to pay the visit instead of coming from different places.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's some questions from my side. Is there any more questions? Anyone else like to ask at this point? Yes, please.
So thinking of how you waited so long to have your identification for Taiwan, I wonder, how did you feel in that process? So, like, was it maybe an identity crisis that you were kind of trying to have an ID for a country that had done so many terrible things to you? Or was it seen as like the paperwork that would help you start your life again? Something that would kind of...
Because at that time, during the martial law, without identification, you couldn't do anything. Strictly controlled. So that's the reason why we didn't know that the martial law would be lifted in the year 1987. So if I want to have a new life, then I have to have identification. So since the day I become homeless, I started to apply for identification. They promised me, but they are just delaying and delay many years. I become very sad and pessimistic. I want to do something. I want to kill someone and committed suicide. I did have the kind of thinking at the time because I was so impatient for waiting so long, and they keep on telling me, come next month, next week, next month. I really, really frustrated. I just want to do something, but luckily I didn't carry out the kind of. Later, when I went to that location, I told them one day, as I say that if you don't give, I was sign down a document was promising me to issue the identification within a week, I will kill myself here, right in front of you. By that way, I got my ID. Without ID, I would not have today. I would not have today. I was allowed to go back home to Malaysia. Even I wanted to go home, but they said no, you couldn't go home. You knew Taiwan too much. So that's the reason why identification is very important in the Asian country, especially in Taiwan during the White Terror period under the martial law. So that's the reason why I was so urgent. But I couldn't understand why they were another two Malaysians. At the same time, they were suffering the same punishment as me. But on the day of their release, the government automatically issued them, I gave them the so-called identification.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't understand why. They promised me to issue me the identification, but they didn't give me. So there's a lot of, I don't understand why they treated me that way. Even though the treatment, when I was in jail, I was treated differently. I just couldn't understand my life, what was different from anybody else. So those people, I knew the Malaysian guy as well. He left 2 weeks before me, but the immigration officer or the Ministry of Domestic Affairs, something like that, they immediately sent the identification to him. But for me, even though I went to apply myself, the delay. And then they wanted to give me. If I didn't use the harsh way, then I don't think I would get it within 3 years.
Any other question?
Yes?
You said when you were doing the tour that you're proud to be Taiwanese today. I wonder, having gone through this terrible period in your life, 12 years in your prime, as you say, how did you learn to embrace and love Taiwan?
Yeah, actually, since I became the Taiwanese, right, I have my identification. In the year 1988, when I got married. When I got married, I started my career. I got a lot of help from the local people in Taiwan. They helped me a lot. No matter if I didn't even have to open my mouth to ask to seek for any help, they automatically would started to help me if they found that I was in trouble. And at the same time, I could able to build out my career and my future on the soil that I found. And then I said to myself that I wanted to pay back. I didn't talk about that during my career time for 20 over years. After that, once I thought that I have found my future, I have found my happiness, and then I told myself that the loss that the KMT, bereaved from me were less than the goodness that the local population gave me. So I told myself I want to do something on behalf of Taiwan. That's the reason why I stay. I didn't mind anything happened to me because I always think that that's my bad luck to encounter that kind of the tragedies that happened to me for 12 years imprisonment. I never think that's who brought those things to me, who caused those things. In my mind, I never thought that there was a specific perpetrators that purposely set up the trap for me. I never thought that way because I don't know. This is my philosophy. I could say this is philosophy of thinking because I was educated when I was back home in Malaysia. We are educated to forgive instead of remember. the negative sides of anything that happened to you. So I'm able, after that, since the day when I step up, it was painful, of course, it was painful. But after a few times of sharing my story, I think this is very fruitful. You can see the feedback, the reflex from the listeners, especially the young generations. They knew nothing of the past. Once they learned that what happened to us, the kind of what is this? How to say, the kind of affections, is really, really touch you. So I told myself I would continue to do it. After doing it a few years later, I found that this is the best trauma therapy. So today, I did it with no pressure. Okay. I don't know. I can understand you, and you can understand me or not. I'm not good at explaining this.
I think you're sharing it very well. I think you are sharing the history, the facts, and the observation, but you're also sharing your own story and also the process of processing the trauma. And I think that's just as big as a part of your story as just the facts that happen. So I think you're doing that really well.
Thank you.
In my opinion. Small question.
Great, thank you for sharing. And I'm curious about things you would like to make the next generation know more about what happened during that period of time. And I guess, for example, for me, I'm Taiwanese as well. And what I learned about the White Terror is through the compulsory education. So do you think that the current textbook, especially for the history class, I mean, the content in there is clear enough to make the young generation know about what happened during that period of time?
No, I don't think so. It's still a lot to do because according to the restrictions of the Ministry of Education, they had a lot of restrictions. You couldn't put all the details of the White Terror in the textbook. But we are working. A lot of the scholars are working to be more to show the story in more detailed way. I think it's I think it's enough because once the young generation learn that there was something like this, they will use their own way to go deeper into the story. So there's a lot. Currently, there's a lot of people, young people coming here to find the facts. They learn this kind of historical history in the textbook. They want to be more clear, so they came here. They came here to find out the facts. So that's the reason why a lot of people become more and more interested. You can see there's such a lot of television and something like that. The theme they use to make the TV or use to make the movie, they are mainly with a certain kind of connection with the White Terror. Today you can see that it's a trend. It's a trend. I think a couple of weeks ago, one of the a director came to me and said they want to make a movie of my story. I said no, I'm not that. I'm not good enough for the movie. Okay, I think this is we still have a lot to do, a long way to do. We try to influence especially the young generations. They are the pillars of the future of Taiwan. Yeah.
Thank you for explaining the importance of further educating the young people about the history of this period. But I would be particularly
Okay.
喂，我回来到5点吧，4点半，我现在还在开会中。你们在哪里？你们在哪里？你们在哪里？好啊，好啊，好啊，好啊，好啊，好啊。到了再说，到了说。
That's why it's an
不一定，
informal
不一定，
interview.
不一定，不一定。好好，没有，现在他在做一个讨论，在讨论这些事情。好，好，好。My wife.
Top
She's
priority.
Not priority because she and my grandson, and they are now in the zoo.
Mm.
They're coming here to pick me up. I said, it's 5 o'clock. Is it a little bit late? I said, okay, anyway, come here first. Okay.
So what I'm interested is how about the foreigners? Since now you are here talking to a group of foreigners, so what value do you see in informing the foreigners from all over the world about this period of history? What value does it have, maybe for you personally, or maybe even for Taiwan?
I think it's main point is when I was talking to the foreigners, the delegation from different countries, I would try my best through my story to show, to let them know Taiwan. Taiwan today, what is Taiwan? Taiwan is a country that respects human rights, respect freedom, respect democracy. I want them to learn that Taiwan today is a country like this. I also want them to know that Taiwan can help in any way that the world needs it. Right? I think this is something like this. And then I also share them Taiwan today, what calamity Taiwan is facing, what kind of troubles Taiwan is facing today. And then the last one, I hope that the world can use different ways to help Taiwan to become a totally independent country that could proudly stand on this globe. We didn't want any conflict in between China, between the Taiwan Straits. I always say that Taiwan would not like to have another Ukraine, especially when I'm speaking to Pelosi. We are appreciated the U.S. government were ready to sell us a lot of defensive weapons to strengthen our defensive power. But we are not looking for another Ukraine. We need a peaceful solution. We need the words or voices of the world to support us instead of weapons. We didn't want to have war. We didn't want the young generations of Taiwan or those people from other countries coming to help us to be sacrificed like the young Ukrainian sacrificed in the war. It's meaningless. It's meaningless. So that's the reason why I always tell them what we need. So today you can see the changes. You can see the changes. A lot of countries, I do not say that it is because of my speech to them, but you can see the changes. I met so many people. They are very decisive person in their country. So can you see there's American, a lot of senators, a lot of the members of the House of Representatives. They have been here. They were here. I met them too, including today the Secretary of the State. The young guy now is the Secretary of the State of the Trump, was right? He was here too. He was here. I talked to him as well in the year 2023. He came in on the year 2023, late after Pelosi came here. As you can see the changes in the Spain, and I was many different. That's the way you have to show them. Firstly, you have to show them Taiwan. What is Taiwan? Let them know that our citizens of the citizens of Taiwan have the determination to protect its own country. So that's the reason why I didn't want to talk about the indifference between the colors, between the blue or the red or the green or the white. I didn't mention much about that, but I want to tell them that Taiwan young generations, when they were in troubles, they will be united as one to protect its own sovereignty and its own country. I think this is your job when you are away. Yeah, you let the other country to know that Taiwan has a very strong determination to protect itself. Then the people will trust you, and then they will do something for you. I don't know. This is my way of selling the country. This is selling it, so not those. So approaching the what is the foreigners. I met many of them. Almost every week there was some delegation coming from different countries. Not only the political side, politicians. Some of those are religious education or many different different careers. I should say different careers are coming over here. I am the only one. I'm the only choice because they asked for me. I'm quite popular. I'm quite well known. I don't know how, but I was invited for some kind of the spring festival of the national day, for the offices in Taiwan. I've been invited many times, but I seldom participate because this is not me. Oh, anyway, I think this is you have to learn the history of Taiwan first. You know the white terror, how the white terror started. You shouldn't say bad about our country or say say anything against the perpetrators. I don't know how. Anyway, this is my way of introducing Taiwan to the foreigners.
Question. Thanks for that.
I don't know. It's a big question. It's your job. It's not my job. Okay. Any question? No question. And
then I think we'll conclude here. So in the spirit of obviously this interview as well, you have 4 books now. Is that correct?
Yes, I have 4 books.
2 English, 2 Chinese. This is the first Chinese book.
One.
And then you have a second Chinese and then 2 more English ones. So if people are interested to learn more, they can find those online.
Yes, I think the English one you can find it online. It's online, and then you can buy the books or the book here as well.
Outside,
outside. And then this morning, most of the young people they bought one. They want to take back to the Georgetown University. And then I think the Chinese one, the newest one, will be published I think a couple of months later. I just completed. I just sent in for the Human Rights Museum to do the following job for me.
Excellent. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
It was great to meet again after 7 years. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you for coming as well. I appreciate it. If you don't come, I do not have the opportunity to share my story. You come, then I can I can show the people that how I feel, how I suffer, how I turn out to be a happy man today.
Yeah.
I'm really happy. I'm really happy. I'm a happy man now. Yeah.
That's good to hear. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh, there he is.
Come here. Yeah, he will come here. Hello.
The last time we got 47 students here.
Come on, boy. Hello. I'm here. Came to see you. Come on, show your head. Come to the surface. Come on, boy. Hello. Come on. Hello. I'm here. Where is he now?